Welcome to the show, welcome to the show. Here to give you knowledge that you didn't know. Put you on some game, now you got a buzz. You are now listening to Cannabruhz. Yeah, so look, you know what it is, man. The Cannabruhz podcast back once again. Your boy Jarrell, you know my dog Corey. And
yes, sir.
This is Put You On Game.
Game.
Yes, sir. And luckily, you ain't just got us here to put you on game. We actually brought some of our friends from Nevada. They really, to be honest, they really like global. Like I'm like low-key playing them. I don't want to play them like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they moving, they got some announcement and everything to make. So we'll get to that. But we got my guy Kenny Cottrell, and we got my boy Chris Johnson of CannaLean Infused Syrup. Man, y'all go ahead and make some Cannabruhz noise for these boys. Hey, man, you already see it? Yeah, drop it. Yeah. Here's what we like to do. We like to dig in. So, like, normally, you know, we are going to cover things that would actually help someone who's looking to follow a blueprint similar to what CannaLean has put into the game, so they can decide if this is for them. Maybe they're doing things wrong. Maybe they just not as knowledgeable or have a certain level of business acumen that these guys have. So we're going to give you that so that you can go in and get started and be successful in the game. One thing you got to understand is this, all right? This is CannaLean. We're going to talk about their backstory, their product creation, the knowledge, their finances. We're going to really dig. We're going to really get there. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to get you some tips from the guys themselves, directly from the source, directly from the plug, all right? CannaLean creates specialized THC and CBD infused beverages for the growing cannabis drink market. You know it's going crazy out there. We're seeing all type of people create different types of products for the market, for the cannabis market, but this cannabis drink market is going out of there right now. So CannaLean is there for you. And the difference between CannaLean that really impressed us is that, hey, man, for all you little, you know, your people that just want to keep it healthy all the time. My wife is like that. You know, she don't let you eat red meat and all this kind of stuff like that, man. CannaLean got products that are sugar-free, gluten-free.
What else?
Vegan.
What else?
And organic. Okay. So when they say OG, they might mean it in a different way. You feel me? So, man, y'all definitely make sure y'all make some noise once again for the guys at CannaLean, and we about to get right into it. All right.
Let's do it.
This is the tricky part. A business that's too early in the market has to educate consumers, and a business that's too late has to deal with too many competitors, right? Most businesses fail due to partnership conflicts, though. Sometimes it's not even external. Sometimes it's internal. What methods have you guys implemented to ensure that your dynamic remains strong like this?
I call it separation of church and state.
Oh, yeah, that works.
So in a cannabis business, you have the cannabis side, and you have the business side.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't touch the business side. I let Kenny handle that, and Kenny doesn't touch the cannabis side. I handle that. And it's similar like how a pharmaceutical company works. You have the scientists and people who create the drugs, and you have the business side of it who actually sells it. But it's if you don't separate the two, you're gonna have failures. You know, people are gonna step over each other's toes. But he's never been to the laboratory. I've never been to his fucking office.
I've been to the laboratory.
Yes, in California.
I finally went to the lab and I put out my mind, and I felt like I left you. Yeah, I left you and went and like did some Kenny stuff.
Yeah, I'm in there having a blast. But that's how you do it. So you don't step over each other's toes. You get somebody who knows what he's doing. Let him do his shit, and then let me do my shit. You know, like it's get two powerhouses together and just let your energies fucking collide.
And then I'll add on to that is that I know what I know. I know he knows what he knows, and we just trust each other to execute what you say you're supposed to know. I'm not trying to go into his lab. All I know is just give me the results, and then we make some money. That's all I really care about. But he comes to me, it's like, all right, are we on weed maps? Have we got a contract signed? Who's the CPA? Do you like these shirts? You know, I'm always trying to get some new stuff. And we work together. At the end of the day, we just get along really good because we don't try to do each other's job. And I think that's really important when going in business with somebody. Don't try to tell that guy what to do. And our best thing is this: we don't have long conversations. The longest conversation we have is probably we're at parties or drinking, but like on a work call, our call's only like 5 minutes long. You can't get across the call. I think 5 minutes. I'll give 3 minutes. But if you can't get
I
your
was gonna
point
say
across in
5
3
minutes
minutes,
is a long conversation for us.
yeah. If you can't get the part in 3 minutes of what you're trying to get to the point. A lot of people when they're talking about they want to have this long conversation. We just need to tell me what the importance are so I can do what I need to do because you make drugs and I do paperwork. So that's how we
There
do
you
it.
have it. There you have it.
Yep.
Yeah, and to the point of what Jarrell mentioned, businesses that come into the industry too early have to educate the consumers, and if they enter too late, there's too much competition. Why was CannaLean founded, and how did you know it was the right time for it to be introduced into the market?
So I created it like 2013. So my idea was that I'm a college educated person who's from the suburbs. I don't ever want to be looked down upon just because I consume cannabis. It feels weird as fuck to me. And other people who drink alcohol, I mean, what's the difference? The difference is that they're drinking it, and you don't have to smell it. So if I could take away the smoking from cannabis and put it into a beverage, I could not be fucking judged like how everybody's judging me. So my thought was like if I could take the smoking out of it, we could be socially acceptable like how alcohol is. Because my thought is if you had to smoke alcohol, we wouldn't consume it anywhere near as much as we do. So if I can make cannabis a drink, we'd be at that point. And so yeah, I honestly I'm so happy I started when I did. But if I could have started 2 years later, it'd have been great. Because being the third beverage company ever to be released, you had to do so much educating on people and just not educating people on cannabis is one thing. Now I'm educating them on fucking a cannabis drink. Like, oh my God, it was going so over the top, having to educate them just on weed first, then concentrates, then edibles, then explain to them why my beverage is better than all of those. And it's like, it was such a long step for people who didn't know it. Now people are more educated, it's a little easier. But back then when people didn't know anything, taking them from 0 to 10 was complicated. Going from five to 10 isn't that hard. 0 to 10, holy shit, that was difficult.
And did that cause you to lose out on potential clients and customers? The fact that you had, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, because I did more time explaining instead of selling. So I'm over here having to do educating and selling the product. And then when other people who came on the industry say they came made with a shitty beverage, if someone tried that shitty beverage, they would never try mine ever again. This one beverage fucked off their whole thing for them drinking cannabis products. Right. So like even in Nevada, we have a few bad beverages that like, I'm like, oh, did you try mine? No, but I tried one that wasn't good. And I'm like, fuck, okay, well, now this other company has ruined my possible product selling just because people equivalent all cannabis beverages because they don't know the difference. If you tried some bad weed, you would never not try weed again. You would say that weed was bad, but like doing a cannabis beverage, you think they're all bad. So it's trying to separate yourself from the entire pack when there's only about, I'd say 5 to 10% of us who actually make a good product is pretty difficult when it's a newer product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Chris, that's a great point. I know, like with me, I've been trying to experiment with like seltzer water, right? And man, I've tried like 3 different types of like that seltzer water, and it was garbage. And and I was just like, look, man, all seltzer waters are trash. I ain't drinking none of them. But it's so healthy. It tastes this ain't got enough flavor in it. I'm done. And so it's especially to correlate that to the cannabis side, it's easy to now understand. It's just like, well, look, man, I tried this syrup or I tried this beverage. It didn't hit like you said it would, or the flavor it tasted like medicine. So I'm off of it and it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's real. And so that's just crazy because I mean, you guys clearly have found a way with your level of success to overcome that. Like with being,
it's constant marketing, and constant like saying the same thing over and over again. Like me and Chris got involved about a year and a half ago. And when I was trying to work with another company on developing a CBD drink, but it tastes like shit. It did. That was the problem we had. I met Chris. He told me he was an organic chemist, but he was like, "Yeah, I know how to do this." I was like, "Well, I know how to build websites. I used to work in tech for a while. I can do it for you." And then from there, it's like, "Okay, you actually know what you're talking about. Let's just keep putting the same words. What he keeps telling me, let's put it out as much as possible." Like we run ads every day saying the same thing with the exact same mindset. Like if we're going to beat it into your head that we're vegan, sugar free, and we're probably the best station there because we're winners or award winners. You have to keep saying that over and over again. The message can never get old for you because like you have to do it 13 times.
Come on,
but
come on.
Hey, actually, come on. We're gonna pick up some more hardware this summer. That's what we do. We're a bunch of winners.
Yeah.
But to get the product out there, Chris had the best product out there for a while. It was just getting the message. Like, he had to spend so much time saying it. We just said, when we got together, it was like, we're going to say this every day to everybody we go to, and they're going like, that became the phrase.
Yep,
That and
kick
buy
in
more
the
CannaLean.
door.
That and
Yeah.
buy more CannaLean, because that's what we need you to do, is buy more CannaLean.
What experience did you have in the industry prior to creating what we now know as like CannaLean?
I mean, I've been consuming cannabis since I was like 13. My dad used to grow cannabis, and he would let me do extractions. I was like 16 years old doing extractions in the backyard.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know.
Man.
I was meant for this shit. Yeah. I always give
Different.
him credit. I always give him credit for this shit, because like, I was 16 years old blowing shit up in the backyard, you know, and he wouldn't like give me mad about it. He was like, hey, just make sure you're safe, and like give me little tips and shit like that to do. But like, you know, I'm 16 years old making butane extractions in the backyard, and like they're coming out fucking great. You know, we're selling them to the local dispensary. You know, and it's like just little shit like that. You know, I'm 16 years old making products in the dispensaries. Like, this is kind of. I went to school for mathematics. I didn't even go for fucking chemistry. You know, like I went to be a math teacher, and it just worked out the way it did.
And you said your dad taught you the extraction process?
No, so my dad taught me growing. So he allowed me to be fluent as I am with cannabis. You know, I've been smoking weed since I was 14, but I was a straight A student. So you couldn't really argue with that side of it. You know, I was like, if I'm still getting good grades and I've never been in trouble, like, let's not let weed be the thing that like stops you from like, you know, thinking I'm a good person.
Right.
So he was very comfortable with me smoking weed, but like, even when I got into like reading High Times magazines, like extractions, and learning how to like turn weed into dabs or like to hash back then, you know, which is that's kind of where I got my start. You know, him having weed, him growing weed, being good with growers, me getting trim, being able to run processes, and having the freedom to do that as a kid.
That's so important, man. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Corey and I are both parents, like, of little ones. And first of all, self-expression, that being important, being able to ask questions. I don't know what it was about a lot of the older generation that just wouldn't allow you to ask a question. Like, how am I supposed to learn? Or how am I supposed to explore? Right? Like, you have to you got to take the chains off of me a little bit and allow me to actually get into things that I'm curious about. Like, let my curiosity roam. That's a big part. And now, you know, look where that landed you, right? So it proves that, one, like you said, you can keep your grades up, which appeases everybody at that age, right? And then now, you know, you figure out how it's not just about making good grades, and then all of a sudden you turn into, you know, you do some kind of desk job at this, you know, Fortune 500 company or whatever, right? You turned that into something for yourself, something that was dope, something that was special and extremely valuable to a specific market. And it's innovative. How does it actually solve? When you guys were getting in it, what problems did you see in the market? And how did you see, once you put it together, or maybe even just in the planning stages, how did you see this as a problem solver, right? For the deficits that were within the industry?
So most edibles you'll always see have either sugar, high fructose corn syrup. You know, they have gluten in them. Me being really healthy and being in California at the time, being in college, being in Orange County especially, is a very healthy place. So a lot of places where, you know, sugar-free, vegan, gluten-free, me just learning about shit like that, putting into a beverage was perfect. You know, I had an idea. I did a internship at a pharmaceutical company fresh out of college. And one of the first things they taught was like herbal-based cough syrups. So it was fusing an herb into a syrup base was pretty much the Bing. And it took me about I'd say about 8 months to get the first batch done. Once I got it done, got the product going, got it going from there. But like that was just the initial idea, something different. You know, I couldn't go in there and grow weed and sell weed like everybody else. I didn't have money. I don't have backing. I don't have shit like that. I had to figure out what I can do with my knowledge and make a profit off it, because I love this industry. I didn't want to. Once I got into it, I don't want to fucking leave. Like, this is. I can do this. I can do this the rest of my life. You know, I've done other jobs. I've done construction. I've sold solar panels door to door. I've done. It's cool. None of that shit gives you the satisfaction this industry does. You know, the pure satisfaction. I wake up every day and want to do this shit. Like, I'm excited to get up every day and go to work. You know, it's different, but it's yeah, man. It's
man, passion. That's what that is, man.
That's why I get lost sometimes in conversations. I always think about it, because you go back. You know, I've been at this for 10, 11 years now. This is I'm only 31 years old, so that's 32% of my life. Like, it's 32% of my life. I've been doing this one fucking thing. You know, so I'm not going nowhere.
I got into it because of my wife. Honestly, that's like my wife likes CannaLean,
Let's go.
and
Shout out to the wife.
yeah, we're dating. No, really, shout out to the wife. A couple other reasons, but mainly because like she was buying CannaLean before we started dating. Then she met Chris. She knew that I knew Chris from doing some paperwork for him. And she's like, "Oh, Kenny, can you pick up a case of CannaLean?" I was like, "Oh, okay." So I think a case is like 5 or 10. She bought a case of 50. I knew when Chris said that immediately. It's like that's who I need to work with in cannabis because he's making something for them because my wife likes it. So that's when I realized I'm going to work with Chris. And like we're like a third of the cannabis market now. So we gotta that's how we met. Only 2 black guys in a chamber of cannabis meeting.
Yeah, stun on them then. When y'all have the product, we already know, like I think the audience is learning at this point that like this is some amazing stuff. They already like, wait, CannaLean Syrup.com. Yeah, they already on it, right? So like who is the demographic that you're actually trying to target? You know, that's so important when we try to build business these days. Like who ideally, maybe in the beginning, that you guys intended for it to be?
Hot, healthy chicks.
Hot, healthy chicks?
Yeah, like my wife. She likes joking and thin. That's like I go to spin class, I go to yoga class, and because I go to those classes, I'm in pretty good shape. I'm 39 years old, and I start, you start wanting to talk to these women. It's like, you know what? These women are still looking good. So let me do what they're doing. And that's when I realized when Chris had CannaLean, it was like, oh, these are the same chicks I go to yoga class and spin class with. And they probably want to consume cannabis in this exact same kind of format, exact kind of way. It's like, oh, we're going to get rich. This makes sense to me. This right here makes sense because
Right.
that was the target client. You don't want the rappers. You don't want the young kids. You want the chick who's going to Whole Foods paying $11 for a bottle of juice.
Yeah.
Very interesting that you say that because, out here in Texas, lean is that scissor that's going to really get you.
So let me give you a
yeah.
Let me give you a background for it. So I'm from the suburbs. My family's from the hood. Okay. So I played this weird middle ground where I understand both sides. Yeah. So for me, I had to make a product that could have a double entendre and kind of play both sides. So I play off the lean factor because it is lean, sugar-free, vegan, and plant-based. But it is a syrup that gets you high. So you would consider it cannabis lean would be the gist of it. Right. So me playing CannaLean allowed me to reach out to my folks and be like, nah, it's cannabis lean. You get the process. You know what I'm saying? My biggest plugs who kept me going initially were niggas who sipped like lean and soda like lean. Right. But then getting onto the legal markets, you have to have another reason. They would not accept my product on the market if I say I'm selling cannabis lean. Mm-hmm. So you have to have a something for them and something for us. I know y'all get what I'm saying.
Come on, no, that's real.
But there has to be something for them because they won't accept it if there's not something for them. Like there's a lot of shelves who are like, your name just isn't appropriate for our store. And I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. You could say my name sounds too black for your store, but like if you said my name sounds too Mexican, you'd be hella racist. You could say it sounds too black. That's totally fine. But like so you have to have something that's for them. If not, they won't accept it. It's black on. Come on now. Black owned stores. We sell white products all the time, and nobody questions it. But like at a white store selling a black product, it's like a fucking. It's part of the game though. It's part of the game, and we can't pretend like it doesn't exist or can't pretend like we're fucking able to step over it. No, it's real shit. You got to deal with it. Being a black owned cannabis company has it's a lot heavier than running another company. Let me just say that.
Yep. And that's
any black owned company, like we're all professionals. We all went to college. Like that was the beautiful thing about I went to Morehouse for undergrad is that they told me that it was gonna be the only time in my life I got around this many successful black guys all in one spot, and I see it because after we leave, we go do everything. But I'm used to being the only black guy in the room. Like I just graduated from UNLV last week with my master's in urban leadership and policy.
Wait, yep, hold up.
Thanks. Yeah.
Give him some love, man.
Don't let him slide past that one.
No, we champion accomplishments around here, especially. Come on.
So I was at the
number. Wait. Number one.
Yeah. Don't let him keep sliding past this too.
Stun on him then.
4.0. Yeah,
let's go.
4.0 GPA too.
4. So that's like why me and Chris work so well together because we're both used to being in that situation where we're only 2 black guys in the room. And if he's an organic chemist, he has to be smart. He's a degree in chemistry. And I'm in grad school. I tell everybody, I'm in grad school 4.0. I'm in public policy, so I'm really educated. So don't say that we're black and we don't know what we're talking about. You're talking probably two of the most highly educated people in cannabis. And I just got accepted to a doctoral program. So like now when you're going to refer to me,
congratulations
No,
again.
you know he goes.
Hey,
Hey, look, that man be skating. He gonna skate right past it, but we gonna clap it up. Come on now.
hey,
Yeah,
we're in a very good position right now where we're expanding to another state. We've done it without giving up that much equity,
talk about
and
it.
we got we got the distribution statewide already, and I can replicate this model in other states. I just need the money to back it now.
Come on now.
That's where I'm really more excited about what we're really doing, because like I'm proving this works. Our tax our when we get these checks is going to our CPA. He's going to be able to own these financials for a good 6 months, and then after that, I'm gonna go find me some investors and try to raise this capital. Because that's now because I got real stuff. Everything will be tracked in metric, both from Nevada and California. Shit, who's gonna look good for acquisition now?
Yeah,
and that's a perfect transition to what we are also want to talk about with you. So
you leave for 5 minutes, I'll start talking about money.
Hey man, I'm not.
This is my strong part, is talking about the money part of it.
Oh man, I'm flipping chicken, putting black beans in the oven, talking about money. I'm like, this is perfect, man.
come on now.
Perfect.
We talk about it all the time, but where there's this odd like parallel in the story of black folks in America and cannabis in America. And when what you realize is, hey, both are looking for expansion. Both are looking for access that they don't have at the moment, right? To just be fair, right? Just to be able to, it can only be accomplished by what you brothers are talking about doing, which is expanding outside of the room. It's like we always talk about the common phrase or the common term is people say is it's preaching to the choir. It's like, what's the point? You know, so when you're actually trying to grow and you're talking about expansion, you have to be able to reach outside of that small niche that you're in, or outside of that industry, outside of the people you're comfortable with. You got to understand that change is uncomfortable.
That's kind of true. So think about it. Chris started that, but that's what he really brought me in for.
Right.
Was that once he really started realizing, I know other people that are black people who are in cannabis, and I know black people who got money. When you start getting to other people like, oh, there's a lot of you like this. Oh, we about to get paid because everybody in the room like, oh, that's Chris. He's the chemist. Oh, tell him to come over here. He's now part of the team. We got lawyers, we got doctors, now we got a chemist for the team. It's like, so now the people we're starting to try to raise capital, they're all about who knows you. Like, people gotta understand who knows your brand. It has to be such and such. It used to be like sometimes the rapper has to be, sometimes the actress, but nowadays like, who's the doctor? Who's the scientist behind it? Who's the law firm that knows about you? What trade organization knows about you? You gotta get those people to sign off for like. Now they're coming back to like, oh, you won all these awards, you did all this stuff.
So you talked about your model. Can you expound a little bit on your model and how are you using that model to expand to the growth that you're looking to get to?
So here's the cool thing. So because I have created this product, I created it. I'm not making it. That's a cool thing to say. I'm able to sell the SOPs. So I sell the SOPs, are standard operating procedures. So it's the process in which someone would make my product. It's the directions, pretty much. That's a funny way to say it. It's the directions how to make the product. So what I do is I sell that to a producer who all it takes is 400 square feet of space, which isn't much. It's 20 by 20 feet. It's not much space at all. And they can produce 100,000 units a month, which is close to $500,000 a month, which would be, $6 million a year. So you can produce that from a 20 by 20 foot space. And that's simple as it can be. My product doesn't cost much to make. It's very cheap. And so when you do sell it, it allows me and the producer to both make good money off of it. So most times the product, you're making 90 cents and the producer gets to, split it. You're both making 45. This, we're both making around $4. So you're talking about we splitting that. We're each making $2 per bottle. You're 100,000 bottles a month, $2 per bottle, 200,000 a month, 12 months, 2.4 million a year that you could profit off of this 400 square feet of space, which I'm sitting in 400 square feet right now, which isn't much space at all.
Right.
So it's a.
Now just think about this. We're gonna take this show on the road. Our next trip really is Arizona though. But that's where the whole point of being a multi-state operator comes in. We're about to replicate the same plan over and over again because we already have everything done. We're a known brand now. And each one of those rooms is making $500,000 a month. Now you're talking good. Now you're talking $6 million a year times 10. About 10 states.
Yeah. So you figure 10 states at that point, we're looking at $5 million, $60 million a year. That's it's a simple mathematical equation. We can simply show it. It's nothing too complicated. We've proven the process in one state. We're proving it in another state how easy it is, and it's easy to replicate. Everybody else has a really complicated process, or they don't know what they're talking about. And that's what I've realized. A lot of people, when I go into these rooms and I hear their conversations, they don't know what they're talking about. They're kind of guessing it. So when you go to write a procedure on how to make a product, they're not sure. And that's why you run into problems and having to rewrite SOPs. I've had the same written SOP for 8 years now. Like I haven't had to change it, alter it, do anything to it. It's been the same freaking SOP. Like it's so simple that I always say a fifth grader can make it. A fifth grader could read my list from top to bottom and make the product, and that's how you have to keep it. If you want to expand, you can't expect every state you go to have a chemist ready to make your product or have some huge bottling facility. No, keep it simple. Here's 400 square feet of space. I'll send you the machinery. I'll send you all the shit you need. It's easy. We all make a profit. It's fucking simple. People want to complicate cannabis and make it more than what it is. Keep the shit simple, bro. We're selling weed.
Man.
Like,
keep it. Keep the
the
shit simple.
Keep it simple, stupid man. That's
right. The best thing about our product is that it's easily scalable. They're talking about just like Coca-Cola. Like Coca-Cola is made of a syrup actually. Coca-Cola tastes the same here in Nevada as it does in Texas, as it does in Atlanta, as it does in Mexico. And they're using all the same process. And Chris can actually do that with CannaLean. That's the other thing that our product tastes the same. It still tastes good because Chris makes the flavoring himself, keeping a product consistent. When you drink a Coke in all these different places, you want it to taste the same. When you drink CannaLean, it's going to taste the same. And that's where we're going to I know that's another advantage that we have in what other people's on scalability of a company.
Okay, so to jump left field, I'm sorry, I got to jump left field. He said Coca-Cola, and I got to bring it up. So dispensary was telling me, they were like, we don't really like the name of your product. We don't think it's appropriate for our crowd. And I was like, it's because the lean thing, right? And they were like, yeah. I'm like, dude, you sell Coca-Cola in your fucking in a vending machine. Like it's literally a beverage that had cocaine inside of it, and you sell it happily. Like what are you talking about? And they chuckled, laughed, and now they carry our product. But it was a real fucking like deep like no to like, dude, you sell a cocaine cola in your fucking vending machine out front, and now the company carries our product. But Coca-Cola always makes me laugh every time I hear that shit.
Yeah, and that's why it's a big thing. I mean, it's important that you guys are promoting that even through, this sit down with us about just kicking in the door. It's nothing timid about the way y'all go about, conquering what you're conquering right now. And that's an important thing. One thing that you guys brought up that we definitely wanted to touch on, so I'm glad you did, was about being able to maintain the quality. And so we really wanted to get into like the strategies that you guys employ to minimize the costs and maximize the profitability that you were talking about without compromising the quality. How is that possible? How are y'all doing that?
So if you know anything about cannabis, there's a product called distillate. Okay, right. And distillate is what you use in vape pens. But if you take distillate and don't make it such names of it's like distilled water. Mm-hmm. So what you do is you take the molecules, you evaporate them and turn them to a gas, and then you cool them back down. And when they come back into a liquid, it'll be the same molecule every time. So it allows you to have the same every time.
Wow.
The same THC molecule, once you evaporate it and turn it into a gas, and then you cool it back down into a liquid, it's the same molecule every time. And some may be a higher potency, some may be 99% or 97%, but all in all, it's the same fucking thing every time.
Yeah.
So allowing that to have the base ingredient of the base component or medical component of our ingredient being the same every time, I can make everything else the same because I make my own flavoring. So the flavoring I make from real fruit. So I collect fruit and I steam it and I collect the terpenes from it. So
Chris,
terpenes are.
Chris, you ain't doing that, man. That's impossible.
That's literally the flavoring in every single bottle. I even have the regions of every fruit that I use that come from. So like I put real science and education behind every single one of my products. Like it's not a half-ass. Nothing is fucking bullshit and put together. Like I really put timing into it. I even search the regions to make sure that like I can get the fruit consistently for the next year. So I don't like mess up one batch and then have to give you a different flavoring throughout the year. It's a lot of research that goes behind this shit. So I guarantee you that every time you're getting the same flavoring that I'm giving to every single bottle, to the same distillate going inside, to the same process every single time.
So this is why Kenny's wife is like, I can order a 50 pack because I know I don't have this special bottle. People like to hold on to a special bottle because it doesn't taste the same 3 bottles later. They know
every single time you get my strawberry flavor, you're gonna get the same strawberry flavor that you got 2 years ago or that you got from the past. Like it's the same process every single time. Yeah, I really care about this shit.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
was just
I'm
about to
not,
say the same thing. I'm like,
I'm not just like, I'm not bullshitting. Like because I consume this every day. I consume my own product every fucking day. I'm not someone who makes a product and doesn't consume it. Like, this is for me, and the fact that people like it's dope as shit, you know. But like, I want to make a really good product. I care about this shit. You know, I started it when it was medical, and I really cared about helping people. I still have 15, 16 patients who I've never charged for cannabis ever. I send them packages every single month. They come get it from me. Like, we make sure that they're taken care of. Like, that's what it was when I first started. We actually cared about the patients. You know, the profit was one thing. It's going to be there. Of course, we're selling weed, bro. It's profit's always there. But like, the fact that you can have a plant that you can consume, and I can make a product that genuinely helps cancer patients or helps someone with epilepsy, like, it's,
come on, man.
It's the difference. You know, it's true difference between people who are doing this for the patients and people doing it for the profit.
Right.
And it's you know, profit is one thing. That's why I have Kenny. I would do all this shit for the patients. I would literally give all this product away if I could. But I have Kenny who tells me, no, we can't. So we have to make a profit so we can keep doing the same fucking process over and over and over. So that's the point of having a church and state, but also listening to your church and state. You know, don't just have them there, like, let the opinion slide by. Like, trust the person and fucking listen to him. You know, if I didn't listen to him, I'd still be in the same 11 stores doing the same shit over and over. You know, we're in 37 stores in Nevada and launching in 200 stores in California. Like, I can't.
Come on, stop. Stunt. We got stunt on one more time. Y'all already know, man. That's crazy. How many stores? How many
200
stores?
200 plus we'll be launching in California.
I'm so happy to expand to California, and because like we've been in, so we started once we really know we were going to do this. Got our investor, put the money up immediately when it had to go there a few more times to get it, but to actually start an expansion from top to bottom, from going through lawyers. Shout out to Ice Miller and Associates, best law firm in the country.
Yo, shout the BAILT out. Shout out the BAILT.
I would not be able to pull this off without your help. The story behind that is that Chris had the CannaLean trademark, and we won. We won. We knocked another company off, and now we're there.
Man.
So there was a very large company called E&J Distributors who sold a product called CannaLean, which they knew they knew I owned this shit, but they were a bigger company. They just did that. So we filed the actual federal trademark because I had it since 2014. And they passed my federal. So I actually have the federal trademark for CannaLean, which is dope as fuck.
Come on.
Yeah. And they sent out cease and desist letters. The company was off the market in a month and a half. And we started getting calls from all the shops they were in asking us for product. And
we didn't even know. That was the thing about it. We didn't even know. Chris, like, we got these phone calls. And it's like, I called the manufacturer. I'm still cool with the manufacturer. I told the manufacturer what happened. That's what he told me. Where's another CannaLean? You have to get a cease and desist letter. And I guess he think he was going to do it. But so I learned a lot about law. I clerked for a superior court judge and a federal court judge, which made me realize I didn't want to go to law school. But I know a lot about law. So when my manufacturer is telling me that, I was like, dude, I'm gonna get. I saw the trademark from Chris when I first met him. I was like, dude, we're gonna win. It's gonna take me a second, but we're gonna win. I found a law firm that did it. It did it way faster than I thought. I thought I'd be like 3 years or something. And then once he did that, the manufacturer verified it. And he was like, shit, we can launch it as soon as you give us the money. And that's when we started trying to go get the money, because like we knew we knocked the other one company off. They're off the shelf.
Come on.
And they're calling us. That's why they were calling us. Like, oh shit, we got to fill his void now. Fill the void now. Oh, now we've done that. We're hitting the ground rolling. Like I said, Chris is a chemist. All I got to do is put him in a room, make the magic happen. We just got to give him the opportunity. And that's like what I want to do is for African Americans, like even as a group. I want to like just put us in a room where we're getting the opportunity, or we can display our talents. And sometimes it takes them the best chemists in the country. And then sometimes it takes a guy like me who's like, all right, let's just do them. We're David and Goliath, and now we're hitting the ball running. And at this point, that's what I say. Anybody wants to get in cannabis, holler at us. Like, we'll help you out, because like we know the blueprint, we know the game. And also shout out Greenleaf CPA, Chip Swigert, our CPA.
Yeah,
they're very excited about working with him as well too.
Show him love.
Too, but like you got to qualify. You got to have a team. Like it wasn't just me and Chris. We got other guys that rocked with us, and especially you got to have a good lawyer. You got to have a good accountant when you talk about real expansion. Got to have it.
Shout out Chip, man, fellow dope CFO, man. Hey,
come on
to you, man.
Yes, sir. You already know, dope CFO, man. You know how we do it. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the thing about it is, Corey and I have probably said this. I don't know, Corey, what you think? 10,000 times on camera, off camera. The idea of the BAILT. You know what I'm saying? These guys are talking about why that's important. That's an acronym, you know, for having a great team that includes a banker, your accountant, right? Your insurance, your legal side, your lawyer, whoever that is, right? And your
Ice
tech
Miller.
side, a belt, right? So that's what we spell it like BAILT, but belt. If you don't have that foundation set up, you see how they were ready to go. Like, hey, you just want to take our our intellectual property. You want to take our name. This is what we stand for, and as you can see, there's passion behind it.
So I gotta tip off something he said that it's not till you see something as possible that you can actually know it's possible.
Can you repeat that?
Like it's not till you can see something that's possible that you actually know it's possible. So this leads into one of my favorite stories in the world. Okay, before 1954, the idea of running a mile under 4 minutes was the most unheard of shit in the world. They said it was closer to flying than running a mile under 4 minutes. Okay. Then in 1954, a man named Roger Bannister came along and broke the fucking 4-minute barrier. He ran in 3 minutes and 58 seconds. Roger Bannister wasn't a fucking athlete. He was a scientist. Many steps in this amount of time I can break in 4 minutes. After that time, almost 20,000 people have ran the mile under 4 minutes, including middle school kids.
Yep.
Including middle school kids. The only thing that changed in this entire thing was that the idea that it was possible. They hopped on the track and had the idea that it was actually possible, and they broke the fucking time. It's not till I actually saw fucking money that actually could come in for the company that I knew this idea was possible. And we started breaking through barriers and doing shit. But it's like, it's not till you can have someone show you that your idea, that sometimes you'll doubt yourself, and it's going to happen. You're going to doubt your idea and you're going to think that it's not really true. But it's not till someone actually can show you that it's possible, that you can actually act on this idea, So it's for him, it was seeing that, but for me, it was seeing Kenny and showing me the other companies and how they run and how we're actually doing better than them. We're actually at the point we're building and creating and processing. We actually saw that it was possible, and now we're going from my product being in 11 stores across the nation to 240 and some change.
Are you white labeling CannaLean?
Technically, but we're license agreements. Chris owns the SOPs.
So here's how I stay away from having to actually own a cannabis company and paying all those cannabis taxes. So
listen up.
I sell the actual idea and the packaging to the company, and they fill it with the cannabis product. So I'm not at all touching cannabis right now. I'm not touching it. I make the flavoring, which has nothing to do with cannabis, and I do the other inactive ingredients. But the active cannabis ingredients, the actual cannabis company, each state deals with that.
Right.
So we pretty much sell packaging.
Come on.
Okay. See, look,
we gotta highlight that.
And that's how we've been able to sell in so many different markets, though. That's what I said. When we're talking about easy scalability, the thing with cannabis, like the flower itself, you gotta grow the flower, check it, steep the stem. The problem is, I just need some distillate or live resin because we're bougie now. Live rosin, and we can literally just get that, keep those as flatterings. The cannabis manufacturer actually signs off on it. We work with a profit split. We have them sign a licensing agreement for using our license, which is be CannaLean ourselves, and then we have to a distribution agreement where he charges a fee, where it's a profit share, because we're now technically part of the owner of the group now.
Man.
So that's why I said, like, we can really scale really fast if we get around the right team, because we already did all the hard work. We're ready to go. Outside of me, there's no other investors, no other equity holders. It's just me and Chris.
It's me and Kenny still own 100% of the company.
That's it.
Crazy.
So that's the good part. So now we're talking about
type
valuations.
of scaling.
Yeah, it's like let's go. Like whoever got the license, whoever got the work with, and like I said, I'm from Atlanta. I went to Morehouse. I hope I can find someone in the entertainment industry. We're just looking at different influencers that can work with.
First off, I love the fact that you all are having fun while doing this.
Facts.
Because
the only way to do it.
That's extremely important, and that helps fuel the work that you're doing, right? Where you can do it every single day. So shout out to y'all for that. But I wanted to take a step back, because you got Jarrell and I over here just moving around like crazy, because you just dropping gems and knowledge bombs left and right. But for our listeners and for the individuals that are wanting to get into the cannabis industry, or they have a license, or they have an idea. When you first started, were you self-funded, or did you have any type of investors? And then
the answer is Chris funded this all by himself. I came in with some money just because I knew lawyers and stuff. So some credit, I spent a lot of money too. But Chris did the majority of the work. Remember, he did 8 or 9 years before he met me. I came in like a year and a half, and I had put my money behind it, and my friends, like some of the like they made it happen faster than I did. Shout out Ice Miller again, but also it started. Everybody started to me and Chris actually business partners. Everybody started reaching out to Chris directly. He said, "Oh, let me just call Chris directly. We don't need. I know Kenny's my friend, but he's the chemist." And some people will get like, "Oh, one like, oh, you're stealing my shine." I'm like, "Great, you've been seeing what I saw the whole time." So yeah, go talk to him so you give him some more money. Took longer than one, but it eventually worked out. We found a good investors, and now we're looking for new ones. And like not just stop here, because like I said, we can go to Illinois, we go to Michigan's a good state because our product is easily scalable and it's a lot of profit to be made off of it. We're like we can share. I'm not greedy.
So to answer your question, from this end, I started off with $200. $200. I bought my first quarter pound of flour, some cheap flour. Made my extract. Made my first 20 bottles. And luckily, I had a buddy named Trey Hall. Shout out my man Trey Hall. I know if I gonna watch this. That's my dog, man. He bought my first 20 bottles, $400. Sent it to me. I shipped him out a case. And it's been history ever since then. I took that 400 and I made more bottles and turned that to 800 and flipped the process and actually went from there and bought a pound of flour and made my first, 200 bottles after that, and it was like it was a consistent process. But like, if you don't put that initial kick behind your dream, like you're not going to go anywhere. You know, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Like you can't sit there and talk about your shit, like keep talking about it. Like just what money do you have? $200? Put it behind it and go somewhere. If it doesn't work out, try it again. If not, you really you didn't believe your shit.
I need to stop myself sometime for going so hard, but the hell with that. We're gonna go hard on CannaLean at this point. And I tell people
podcast coming soon.
Maybe. I'm gonna get that. But for me, it's like I gotta win because like I want to do this. I said I was gonna do it. Like and I keep telling myself I win. I gotta do this. And then like then sometimes it takes me a while like to look back and see what I accomplished because like I graduated bachelor's, graduated a master's, got involved with a cannabis company, expanded the cannabis company, got married, about to have a kid, got into a doctorate program. I'm accomplishing so much stuff and this only been like a year and a half. I've like been in Vegas 3 years. I did all of this in 3 years. So I'm looking like, why am I going to slow down? I'm not. The answer is not. I'm going to keep going till I'm paid and. Well, I got a homeboy sold this company for $470 million. So until I hear a number like that, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah,
$470 million. I'm actually gonna sit my ass down on an island and smoke some amazing weed all day,
or drink it.
Kenny, man, like you a damn cannabis Olympian over here.
Something like it. Something like it, man.
Over there, look, medal after medal after medal, accomplishment. Trophy, married, kid, still stunting on all you hoes. 13 times.
And counting.
Yeah.
So Chris, if you can hear me still.
Yeah, I can't. My bad. I'm pulling the baked beans out the oven right now.
Oh man, hey man, get the baked beans, man. We can't let the thing burn.
Hey, I can't let the thing burn. My bad, man. I can't let them burn.
This is real life here. Real life. So when you had the $200 that you put into your business, were you working somewhere else at the same time? And then if you were, when did you decide to make that transition full time into yourself and CannaLean?
That kind of was the breaking point. Honestly, I was doing door-to-door solar kind of like the end of college, just something like to make money here and there. And a paycheck didn't come through and I really needed it. And like, they just told us to wait and like, I had to wait and then like my bills got behind and then I got kicked out of the place I was in. And like, it was all because I'm waiting on someone else to pay me. And it felt kind of fucking weird. And like, I've never been more mad at that situation in my life. And I was just over it. I was over it. I knew how to make something. I was over waiting for someone else to pay me. I'm going to make my own fucking money. I'll figure it out. Like, and at that point, it wasn't even like me trying to start it as a business. It was just me just creating a product I know how to make and like just wanting to do my own shit. I'm tired of having to live under somebody else's signature. Like if they don't put a signature on this piece of paper, I can't get paid for the work I did. It was baffling to me. So, yeah, wow, that's crazy. But it's not to hear your voice out loud, because that voice in your head, like he'll say some shit sometimes, you're like whatever. But hearing it out loud is different. Because like it's like playing basketball, like you don't have I don't have the chance to celebrate after I score. I'm too busy getting back on defense. So sometimes it's not just like you sit in a moment, you actually say it out loud. You're like, you know what, damn, that did happen. Damn, that did happen because of that, but you're so busy in the game, you don't get a chance to do the celebration thing and like think about it. So, yeah, man, this has been a fucking journey. Holy cow.
They didn't listen to me. Jumped on board with Chris. Came out here. We thrived. We won. And that's the kind of thing that motivates me. Don't ever just quit one time because like everybody's just people turn their backs on you or you feel like you didn't win. You gotta have like determination because like once you know you that dude, you go everywhere in the world. Let me try to get to the next level. Like let's still do the fun stuff. I want to win and make money, but this time let's do it as in the adult way. Let's win. Let's thrive, and let's not take the foot off the gas until like they gave you that number. When you know that number hit, we'll be ready. We'll take a buyout all day. But I didn't hear that number. And this the way to get to that number is you gotta have guys like yourself. You gotta have these CFOs. You have to put all that kind of stuff together. I think that's like one of the things that I tell anybody who we're getting into cannabis. Assemble your team. Make sure you got a good insurance agent. Make sure that you're properly protected. And make sure you got if you know one thing, make sure you got a guy that's a special in whatever you do. Don't try to micromanage stuff. That's just call it drama for no reason. I tell you, our biggest dynamic that me and Chris is like, I'm older than Chris, and me and Chris have totally different personalities. We get along good because like I don't really try to go into what he likes to do, and he just doesn't want to do what I do.
Man, paperwork is not my thing, man. It's just not.
Right, but that paperwork is so important. Like you mentioned, where our expertise comes from is the financial service piece. Is getting people to understand ideas like, hey, this is financial forecasting and models and stuff like that. Like, for example, for you guys can help out our audience, right? Like, have you implemented any financial forecasting models?
Oh yeah, I got a 5-year projection, 3-year projection. I got
yeah. And
we got 3 or 5 projections. We can track our KPIs. I know about expansion models in 6 different cities. So in California, there's 866 stores. Nevada there's technically 101 licenses. We're probably 89 active stores, maybe 91 now. I think they just added a couple more. Arizona has 150 stores, and Michigan has 414 stores.
That's your background. So what exactly for CannaLean are you assessing? Like how do you assess the financial health of CannaLean?
I look out the amount of stores that are in. I care about gross amount of stores than the revenue, because at the end of the day, we're going to get profitable. What's the numbers going to look like when we're doing 200 or 300 stores in a year? And that can happen overnight. We're expecting that this year.
Yeah.
So first off, that's huge expansion.
Big.
Well, there's another company. There's another company we are friends with. They're like the number one cannabis beverage company in the country right now. They're expanding. We met with them and we were like, I want to do what y'all do, but we have the same revenue. We have the exact same revenue model. We have the exact same like there's a different kind of type of product, but our financial model is pretty much the same, and we respect that one another. So we follow guys who can be like your allies in the business, and you try to work with them. We try to share resources and try to build them up as well too. Like I said, we're not trying to. Right now we're one of the few owned black-owned companies, and we're friends with all the black-owned companies that make it a part to do that. But we work with everybody across the spectrum because like we have something they don't, and we don't mind sharing. It's never like, oh, I want to put you down or no, I can't do that. It's like, nah, if you're good guys, you sound like you got something to offer. Let's do business.
Let's do business.
Now that we talk about going from 31 to 300, let's say in a year, or 300 to 3,000, right? If I think you spoke about it a little bit earlier. So are you looking for investors, or what kind of investors are you looking for to get you to the next phase that you want to get to?
Spotlight it.
So I'm talking about the micro investor. Chris can talk about kind of investor he likes. Because we are two different people again. The investor that I like is a guy that's going to like who has connects with distribution. That's the main one I want. I want money and distribution. If you can help out with that, we can make some money together. That's why I'll reach out to anybody who's like what you call a boss, or like one of these guys that's killing the industry. I just want to meet and see how we can work together. I like the yoga. I like the health and wellness community. I want those guys to come out and support the product, because like that's who really wants it. If I get like one of those yoga chicks or these Kim Kardashian chick like type of chicks, one, it's great marketing. It's great marketing.
Everybody's looking in that direction.
Yeah, and like I said, they can say, "Oh, y'all back on brand." And like I said, "Oh, we're and they're like educated." Oh yeah, where can I get some more money? Because like, and they like, I'm a member of 100 Black Men in Vegas. Chris should be in hopefully pretty soon.
Oh, nice.
I am big on mentorship and just being a positive Black guy, being a positive guy all over.
Okay.
You never really see me too angry unless I'm like, took a lot for me to get angry. That's why I smoke weed.
He got to be out of CannaLean.
Yep.
Now I feel like we're on a love connection or something. So Chris, tell us your type. You know.
So what I'm looking for, okay. No, with an investor from my end. So I'm a little more sensitive about the facts. So I've been trying to get investors and people to fuck with my company for going on 10 years now. And I've been turned down by so many people who've invested in my competition who failed, you know, and then came to me and asked me questions why they failed. I'm like, because you invested in them. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm very sensitive because it's a more sensitive topic for me. Right. Because I in my end, like for me to get an investor now, like I want someone who like wants to increase their money, someone who's all about their money. Give me the money, I'll give you more money, you know, but don't tell me how to fucking run this company. I've done it 10 years by myself. I don't need you telling me that part of it. You know, if you have money, you know money over me. I totally understand, but don't try to act like you know cannabis over me just because you have money. That's not what I'm looking for. You know, if you want to put money behind my company, cool, I'll bring you more money. But don't put money into a cannabis company thinking you're going to make decisions and run. That's not what I.
It would have to be like someone that's more like, oh, we're going to throw a party with Future. We're going to throw a party with Future. We're going to show up. It's like, oh yeah, that sounds like you got something to offer.
That's real, man. I mean, well, y'all heard it. First of all, we'll go ahead and pause that segment right there just so y'all can get that clip off. But yeah, man, like I mean, y'all know what you're looking for. These guys have literally proven to you that this is a amazing investment opportunity. So make no mistake about it. You want to be a potential partner, right? And so they've broken down the type that they're looking for. So, we're either, Kim, Chloe, somebody like that, go ahead and come knocking, because, Kenny said that's the one. And as long as you really about that money, then, Chris can rock with it too. It's a amazing opportunity for a lot of people to get started, and they just don't have the knowledge. You know what I mean? So we really just appreciate you brothers like being willing to share the amount of knowledge. We talk about this all the time that like as a people we could go so much further, like just in general, whatever direction you want to go in, but it does require sharing knowledge. It's about dropping game. So that's why we do this segment, put you on game, to be able to let people know like it's a little bit, not saying it's easy, but like when you got the right spirit, you got the passion like Chris and Kenny got, then hey, you got that drive and you ready to do it. Okay, hey, Chris said that a fifth grader could follow the instructions of the SOP. So hey, do what you need to do. We definitely are proud.
He about to have a whole elementary school named after him.
Not for real. Hey, so if anybody ever out there has questions or anything, my phone number and my email are the ones that are on the website. So you go to our website, you call
CannaLean, the number,
you Google CannaLean, you call them, it comes to my phone. I answer all questions. I don't hide from anything. I'm here to answer anything anybody has to say. Like there's no faking it over here. And I think that's the difference. Like most other cannabis companies, I've never met the owners. And I'm buying product from all the time. Like I never get to meet the owners. I show my face. I answer questions from customers. I'm not hiding from nothing. I don't make a fucking shitty product where I need to hide in the background and like scared that something's gonna come off. No, I can guarantee every product is delicious. I make it. Trust me. it's good. So like I like being that part of it. I like doing the podcast and like getting to show my face. And I appreciate you guys giving us the time to actually do this and like to express our work. It's one thing us getting to explain to your people. It's one thing us getting to explain our company and to your audience and tell them how we do the process. Them getting to know us personally. The more I know about someone personally, the more I actually want to buy the product. If I don't know anything about you and you're somebody whatever making or whatever, but if I know you and I know your background, like it increases stuff like that. So from people who run our own company, we depend on every part of it. We appreciate y'all for this, really do.
Real. And so you have no choice. It's almost something like inside of you that's pulling on you, that tells you that you want to support. And you know how you can support. You can go straight to CannaLeanSyrup.com. Now, guys, really quick, can y'all just discuss any future plans or innovations? I know y'all don't want to give too much of the secret sauce away, but can y'all discuss any future plans or innovations that y'all are doing in the cannabis beverage space with CannaLean?
Oh man, I wasn't gonna tell nobody, but I'll tell them for your show, man. I'll do this shit, man. I'll do this shit. So we're doing CannaLean coffee creamers will be dropping as of this October.
Drop them bombs. Let's go.
So instead of having to get a cannabis infused coffee, you can literally take these creamers, add it to any canned coffee you have, Starbucks coffee, add it to your drink, and it's 10 milligrams per packet. You can keep it easy to infuse, nothing too complicated.
Oh yeah.
But down Kenny's route realized that
going to the manufacturer will having too much fun.
we're having a blast. We're having a blast. I have a manufacturer who likes to consume cannabis products, and I love to make them. So we are just having a back and forth blast.
They're animals. I'm like, y'all did what? How early in the morning, dude? I couldn't even function with y'all. Like, you're like, whatever. Like, all right, go have fun. Going back to the office again.
That's gonna be crazy. That's big. That's big news. Like, where else do you see that? You know what I'm saying? Unique products, being able to take your passions and say, like, yo, we're not just gonna go in the direction that everybody else is going in. Like, we actually got something different for you, and to continue to innovate after you guys are clearly doing just fine. You know what I'm saying, with the syrup, like, to be able to say, we got another level, we got another gear, and another gear, right? And clearly, Kenny's not trying to take any breaks anytime soon. So
comfort is where you go to die. So the second you get comfortable with some shit, it's your downfall.
Hey, I got people that I need to go pull up on and make them refer to me as Dr. Cottrell. So no, I would not.
Hello. Man, that's what's up, man. I mean, you know, we gotta run it one more time at the end, but let them know. Of course, they're trying to get hold of some CannaLean. We already talked about CannaLeanSyrup.com, but where else can they find you guys online if they aren't able to get this directly to the product in Nevada?
Get into the social medias. Okay, so you can find me personally on Instagram at 10therasta. You can find the CannaLean page at Drink CannaLean. That's Drink CANNALEAN. And then, we're literally Drink CannaLean. You can find it on the Twitter, Social Club, everything across that point. We've had to change it because it's cannabis, and we're not accepted on any social media outlet. Right, so I've been deleted at 90,000 followers, 70,000 followers, 50. You know, so it's the fifth time being deleted. So we're on our climb again. But it's Drink CannaLean. You can find us over again. You know, you Google CannaLean or look it up. You'll find it. It'll pop up eventually. You know,
I like to tell. I have another friend in cannabis, RT. We on the shelf, so feel free to go to Hardin. Feel free to go to Nuvu.
We just wanted to one more time thank you guys, of course. Like a huge, like, you guys put our audience on so much game. I can see, like, have some foresight and see people just like getting inspired, not only by what you guys have done for yourselves, what you guys are doing as representation of educated, smart, and dedicated Black brothers out here in the market, and also representing for the cannabis industry in them courtrooms as well. So play with them if you want. But listen, you know what it is, man. Jarrell and Corey of the Cannabruhz, we appreciate you guys. Kenny, Chris, man, y'all go make sure y'all show love once again to CannaLeanSyrup.com. You know, we gonna need to get some bottles too, man. We got to figure that part out. You know what I'm saying? And
I got a case, and we just
want to one more time. Just it's on the way, man. Hey, look how we doing in Texas, man. You say, is that lean? Well, yeah, man, you brothers, man, from us to y'all always have our support, man. If it's anything that we can do, and I know we're kind of a two-headed monster, but on two different sides of the industry, with financial services and, of course, just the media company. If it's anything that we could do to help out the brand, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You know, it's all love, man. Let's grow together.
Definitely, we got to bring us back.
Man, you heard it, man. So if you catch them out in them streets, man, make sure you show them some love, dap them up, and thank them for your latest purchase of CannaLean. CannaLeanSyrup.com. This has been the Cannabruhz one more time, and we out. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Here to give you knowledge that you didn't know. Put you on some game, now you got a buzz. You are now listening to Cannabruhz.